I'm Chris Kubal. Here's a look at your local 5 weather impact forecast. Still hot and humid as we roll closer to Independence Day, but you do see readings will drop a little bit as we go into the back half of the weekend, especially. So we're winding down the worst of the worst when it comes to the heat and humidity. We will have some interference of storms from time to time to watch, but you see, if we don't see that for Friday afternoon, it's up into the triple digits for central and southern Iowa for the heat index. But we'll lose a lot of that humidity going into the 4th of July. Still hot, we'll be feeling like the mid-90s, a couple of degrees increase on top of those temperatures. As we do go into Thursday night and early Friday morning, we're going to be tracking for the potential of seeing some gusty winds and too much rainfall. I actually think the flooding risk is really more of a concern at this point. And we're going to track that heavy rain potential, especially over central and northern Iowa. So weather impact alert for that. We'll likely extend that for Friday as well as we deal with more bubblings, especially into the overnight time period. The severe outlook there, level 2 risk over central Iowa. Level 3 in the western part of the state. Not sure I'm fully on board with that, but we'll continue to track things. Development continues to shift eastward and kind of back build a bit. Anytime you start to see that, that's going to be concerning. As we go into the overnight, there will be some heavy rainfall, especially if things stagnate or if you see multiple rounds of thunderstorms. Now for Friday morning, things wrapping up, we'll get a drier stage into the afternoon where those temperatures get a chance to pop, like I mentioned. But then redeveloping into the evening, carrying into the overnight and early morning of Saturday. Again, more heavy rain potential, and then I think we're looking at a drier Independence Day thereafter. The excessive rain outlook is certainly pinning things over the northern half of the state for Thursday night. Getting into Friday night, that chance does slip southward. So let's talk about the amounts of rainfall here. Widespread amounts in a corridor, especially north of I-80, could reach the 1 to 3 inch range. If we start rising above that, that's going to be a concern on the flash flooding side of things. And then we do it again into the overnight Friday night. So don't take these numbers as absolute truth, but it does give you kind of an indication on what we're going to be watching. Heavy rain potential tonight, that weather impact alert, 73 the low, potentially cooler if you catch a couple of thunderstorms. 90 degrees for Friday afternoon, expecting things to pulse upwards with that bit of a break. If that doesn't happen, we'll end up lower. It's kind of a give and take there, a balancing act, if you will. Otherwise, temperatures settling back into the upper 80s to about 90 degrees for the remainder of the holiday weekend and going into next week. Still very summery. Hot, if you will, at times, but we're going to pull back from that really ripe humidity setup that we've been dealing with as of late. For Independence Day, I think generally speaking, most of the day is coming back dry outside of some lingering showers early, and then we'll try to redevelop during the overnight in the south, but I think that occurs after midnight, leaving pretty good setup for celebrating America 250 here. Fireworks time looking okay at this point, and then we'll go into early next week on a drier note.